So we're going to be going over a floor-based mobility exercise to help beginners start to unlock mobility in their back and their hips. So we're going to be focusing more on strengthening our core, activating our glute muscles, and relieving tension in our sciatic nerve. So if you're noticing that you're feeling stiff after work or dealing with a lot of low back pain that just kind of comes and goes, this class is for you. So we're going to begin on the floor. So we're going to make our way onto our belly. Now with any mobility exercise, we're gently trying to remind the body that certain positions are okay to be in. So if you feel like you're butting up against a range of motion that feels really painful, don't push past that. Just kind of hover at that initial point of discomfort. And with each rep, we'll try to gently work that out. So you're going to bring your hands down as low as they can go. So you're going to feel some muscles below your shoulder blade. Really try to activate those and focus on finding tension under your shoulder blade. And we're gently going to press the hands through the mat. So for some people, 5 to 15 degrees is about as much range of motion as they feel comfortable with. So if that's where you begin, that's where you begin. We're going to do 8 reps. Each time, try to meet that initial barrier of resistance or push past as much as you feel comfortable. So if you feel up to it, you can try starting in the upright position if that is no problem for you. But everyone has a different beginning point here, so there's no right or wrong way to do this. Now once you've done 8 reps, reset below the shoulder blades, drag your hands down again and lift your palms off the mat. And using your back muscles, we're going to pick our torso up off the mat. So you're going to feel those muscles in your back really fire while you extend your spine. We're going to hold for 15 seconds. And slowly lower. Palms up, lift up. Each time try to go a little bit farther. If there's a string between the top of your head and your tailbone, you want to tighten that string. 15 seconds. Back down. Reset. Palms up, lift up. Another 15. Back down. We've got one more set. You've got this. Palms up, lift up. Palms down, press up. We're going to hold for 30 seconds at your peak. So one of the most common determinants of whether or not you'll have low back pain is how tight or how weak your back muscles are. So we're directly strengthening those muscles and building in some endurance. And so as we activate those muscles, you may find it easier to go a little bit farther. Maybe it hurts a little bit less. So after 30 seconds, we're going to lower back to the mat. We're going to press up again for 8. Really try to keep your hips on the floor, focusing all of that tension in your mid to lower back. Push your palms through the floor. Last rep. Palms up, lift up, 30 seconds. If there's a string between your elbows, tighten that string. palms down. Push up 30 seconds. Just let your back muscles relax if you can. Sink as deep into this extension as you can. Now, if you haven't done this before, it may cause some discomfort. On average, we spend 70 to 80% of our day flexed forward, either bending over or sitting behind a desk. So oftentimes we don't actually get a whole lot of extension through our spine. And we really need to remind our body that it's okay to be in these positions. So you may notice, even by the end of this session, that it feels a lot more accessible to you. So that's how you know that we're on the right track. So we're going to lower back to the mat here. Really reach your palms as far forward as you can. Try to touch whatever's in front of you with your fingertips. Feel that lengthening. Point your toes. And we're going to lift up. So hands and feet off the mat. We're going to hold for 20 seconds. And back down. Reach for the wall in front of you. And lift up. Try to go a little bit higher. Find those muscles in your back and glutes. 20 seconds. And back down. We're going to do one more. You got this. Whew. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down. Man, those are tough. So we're going to bend both of our knees here. Point your toes, lift one knee off the ground, try to poke the ceiling or the sky. We're going to alternate. Really trying to find those muscles in our glutes. Keeping the knees bent. 8 reps each leg. Try not to sway. Keep that motion all in your hips. Then we're going to prop ourselves up on our elbows. Really, really push through your elbows. We're going to look up towards the ceiling. Bring your feet back towards your head. So if there's a string between your toes and the back of your head, really try to tighten that string. Lower the legs and lower the head. We're going to do 10 reps here. Last one here. Lower yourself back down to the mat. Knees up. Poke the ceiling. 8 reps each leg. Back up on the elbows. Look up towards the ceiling. Tighten that string between your feet and your head. And lower the legs. Lower the head. Back and forth. 8 reps. You're going to drop back down to the floor, let your head rest on your hands. Bring your knees and ankles together. We're going to rock the feet back and forth. With each rep, you want to take that twist a little bit deeper in your spine, letting the one knee raise off the mat. Now this looks a little bit different for everyone, so stay within that barrier that feels comfortable to you. If you can get your feet all the way to the mat, that's great. 10 rocks, side to side. So now we're going to get into a press-up position here. We're going to push ourselves up. We're going to sit back onto our feet, really load into our hips. This is a modified child's pose. But you're going to push your palms into the mat, looking down, rounding your back, feeling that pressure in your ankles and your hips. Going to hold for 30 seconds. Just let it relax. Continuing to push through your palms. And we're going to raise up to a tabletop position. So we'll do a cat-cow exercise. We're going to introduce some mobility through our hips and pelvis. I challenge you to find new muscles in your core as you rock your hips under you. Push through the palms. Let your head hang. Really round your back, rocking forward and back. Back to neutral. You're going to turn your pelvis forward, looking up. Now your palms are glued to the floor, but I challenge you to try to slide them towards your knees. Really pull yourself deep into that arch. Begin the motion in your pelvis. Turn it under and push. Rocking forward and back. Forward and back. Back to neutral. Turn the pelvis under. Look up. You got this. You may notice each time you can go a little bit farther. And flip it the other way. Push, push, push. And rock. Now, as you rock, keep pushing through your palms. You should feel this change the tension in your back. So you might find it a little bit lower the deeper you go here, and a little bit higher in the back the farther up you go. Tilt the pelvis forward, look up. Really pull those hands back towards your knees. And push. Push, push, push. Last one. This time, push yourself back. We're going to sit back into child's pose. And then push through your ankles. We're going to slide forward into a cobra. Back to child's pose. You may feel things begin to pop and crack as they loosen up. Really round the back here. Arch the back here. We're going to do 5 more. Push through the palms. Now we're going to stop here in a tabletop position. So we're going to change the position of our ankles, really get onto your toes, really load into your toes there. And once you feel that stretch in your toes and in the bottoms of your feet, we're going to press through the palms and through the toes and lift the knees. Just hover off the mat, 30 seconds. Really engage your core. Bring your belly button towards your spine. Feel those quads begin to burn. You're going to push through your toes, through your hands. Raise your bottom in the air for a rising moon. Drop back down to the hover position. And back up. We're going to do 8. If you can't fully straighten your legs, that's okay. Just go to where you feel as much tension as you feel comfortable with in the back of your legs. And back down. Press back into your toes. "30 seconds. Feel that stretch in the bottom of your feet. Let the head hang. We're going to come back into the tabletop and lift the knees. 30 seconds. Now, in future classes, we will begin doing bear crawls, so that will be more of a level 2 movement, but that is a really great way to train your core and your glutes and your upper body to fire together. It is just a powerful exercise. So we're just laying the groundwork. So press through your feet, press through your hands. 8 rising moons. If you need to let your knees touch the mat, that's okay. Push through your palms, load into your hamstrings. Feel that stretch behind your legs. 4 more. Forgot to mention it's an upper body workout too. We're just gently going to make our way onto the back. So the point of being on our back here is to really emphasize our glute activation exercises. So we're going to be leading into a glute bridge, but this glute bridge is going to be slightly nuanced as to maybe some of the different videos you've seen online. So we really want to make sure that we're targeting our glutes for this to be as efficient as possible. So we're going to do a warm-up exercise, and I'll give you a few extra cues along the way. So you're going to straighten one leg, bring your other knee to your chest, grab underneath your thigh, and then you're going to press your straight leg into the ground, so to really drive your heel into the floor, and you're going to find that tension in your glute, and that's what you want to focus on. We're going to hold for 20 seconds. Breathe through your belly. Release the tension. We're going to straighten the leg. Bring the toes back towards your face. Lower the leg. Point your toes. We're going to do 10. Back and forth. Just creating some movement in our sciatic nerve. So our sciatic nerve, as well as any of our other nerves, they're supposed to move with us while our extremities move. They're supposed to slide and glide. Sometimes they get stuck. So we're just gently giving our sciatic nerve the movement it needs to heal. And drive the other heel into the floor. Press, press, press. Really give it all you got. 20 seconds. And release the tension. We're going to floss that nerve again. 10 reps. So if you do have sciatica, maybe it's not flared up right now, but you've dealt with it in the past, you may notice a little bit more tension behind your kneecap. A lot of times people confuse this for tight hamstrings, so they'll stretch their hamstrings a lot. But it's actually your sciatic nerve. It's a symptom that there's tension on it. So an exercise like that, if you find it helps, could be a great thing to implement in your daily routine. But we're going to drive that heel into the ground. 20 more seconds. And we're going to switch legs. Straighten your bent leg, bring your other knee to your chest, drive that heel into the ground. 20 seconds. And release the tension. We're going to floss the other sciatic nerve back and forth. If you notice at first that it's a little hard to straighten this knee, that's very normal, but each time try to push it a little bit farther if you feel comfortable. And you may notice by the end of this, it's a lot easier to straighten your leg. And drive the other heel into the ground. 20 seconds. Ten more flosses. You got this. Drive that heel into the ground. 20 more seconds. Last set here. And well done. So we're going to bend both knees, kind of place our feet about hip width apart. And we're going to get into our glute bridges here, but before we do, I'm going to talk about some of the ways to position your pelvis to really target your glutes. So if you pretend that your tailbone is an ice cream scooper, we're going to be scooping ice cream off the floor. And keeping that scoop engaged, we're going to lift our hips up towards the ceiling. So you're going to scoop the tailbone, so kind of dipping under into a posterior tilt. You may notice your tailbone comes off the mat a little bit. Then you're going to lift your hips all the way to the ceiling, as high as you can. And then you're going to press your heels into the ground. Really maximize that glute engagement. 20 seconds. Keep that scoop engaged. Slowly lower to the floor. Once you feel your tailbone hit the floor, release the scoop. Scoop and lift and press. Continue pressing your feet into the ground the whole time, namely your heels. So that's really going to accentuate that glute engagement. We've got 10 more seconds. Slowly lower, keep that scoop engaged. When the pelvis hits the floor, release the scoop. Last one, scoop and lift and press. 20 seconds. And lower. So modern day living can be stacked against us. It can create muscular imbalances. So our glutes are some of the most commonly inhibited muscles in the body. And weirdly enough, our abdominal muscles, namely our transverse abdominis, is also very commonly inhibited as well. So those are two important muscles to have firing to protect your back and perform, certain tasks. So we're going to be targeting our transverse abdominis muscle here. So we're going to straighten one leg. Bring your hands, kind of place them under the small of your back. And we want to be careful not to tilt the chin down, but whatever feels comfortable for you in terms of head position, you may have to play with that. What I want you to do is, on your next exhale, when you feel your belly empty, I want you to try to keep those muscles engaged exactly where they are. So you're kind of sucking in your belly, but not too intensely. So if you feel a muscle wrap around like a belt, that's what we want. So we're going to focus on that as you try to then lift your torso up off the mat. If you need to keep your elbows down for support or kind of assist you, that's okay. If you feel comfortable, we'll lift the elbows. And you should really feel that belt tighten. 15 seconds. And back down. Engage the core and lift. And back down. If you want to switch legs, you can. It doesn't make a huge difference. We're going to do 2 more sets. Press, lift. And back down. We're going to do 1 more set of 15. Press, lift. Whoo! And back down. So we're going to put it all together here. So we're going to get our glutes and our transverse abdominis firing. So we're going to keep both knees bent here, but you're going to pull one towards your chest and just kind of hold it there. You're going to brace the core again, scoop from the tailbone, and drive through that one leg and lift. We're going to do 5 reps here. And switch legs. We'll do 1 more set. Switch legs. So all of the exercises so far have been leading up to this. The beauty of this exercise is that not only really strengthens our glutes, but it puts some motion through our pelvis, which can tend to get pretty rigid. So when we walk, we really need that pelvis to shift forward and back in both directions. So we're kind of helping it along. And we're going to close out here by introducing some rotation for our lower back. Bring your ankles and knees together. Gently rock back and forth. Taking it as deep as you feel comfortable, but if you want to begin trying to touch the knees to the ground, lifting one hip to really target that lower back a little bit deeper, give that a shot. And time. So we're going to make our way back up to a standing position here. I just want to thank you all for tuning in for this video. I hope that you found it helpful. And if you'd like to continue improving your mobility, stay tuned for more exercises. Please give us a follow, a like, or a share, especially if you know somebody that would really benefit from doing this or just simply enjoy it. It's a great way to actively take care of your joints and your muscles. But if you're in pain, it's a really safe way and a fun way to kind of nudge the body along and get you back on that progress train. So thanks for the follow, guys.